This ABC 15 News Update is sponsored by Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
I'm Javier Soto with your top stories from ABC 15 Arizona. The parents of a teenage boy in Kingman were arrested in connection to their own son's death. The 16-year-old's body was found wrapped in a blanket behind a wall. According to Mojave County Sheriff's Office, Amber Valentine and John Imus first told officers their 16-year-old son ran away from their home, but then days later, they say Valentine called, admitting she knew her son was dead and indicated she and her husband disposed of his body. It's unclear exactly how the boy died. The couple also has a 14-year-old daughter who was allegedly being held captive in that home and is now in state care. The trial is over. A federal jury reached a verdict in the lawsuit against a Buckeye police officer who mistook a teen with autism for a drug user.
What's going on?
Me?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Good.
What are you doing?
I'm stimming.
What?
How you doing with this?
What is that? Stop walking away from me.
It's a stream.
Okay, so why are you bouncing around all the way? You have any ID on you?
No.
Don't go anywhere. All right, just relax.
Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm okay. I'm okay.
Stay down.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
After a 7-day trial, the jury decided Officer David Grossman did not use excessive force and did not violate the teen's rights under the Americans with Disability Act. Court records show the jury deliberated for 90 minutes. Officer David Grossman is no longer a Buckeye police officer. ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscopine obtained documents showing Grossman had a history of performance issues, but is now retired under a disability claim. You can find more coverage of this case on abc15.com/investigators. Lost and found, but what exactly happened while he was on the loose? An Avondale police canine escaped from his handler's home in Goodyear before eventually being tracked down just a few miles away. That canine's name is Rico. Goodyear police also tell us a dog bite was reported around the same time and location that Rico disappeared, with the dog that bit someone matching the description of Rico. We talked with a canine expert about how these dogs behave when they're working and when they're off duty to get some perspective.
It usually takes a command combined with a situational circumstance that the dog recognizes through previous training that would cause the dog to become aggressive.
It's unclear how Rico escaped or whether Rico bit anyone. Meanwhile, we've learned the canine was not wearing a GPS tracker. Some departments have them for their canines. Avondale does not, but the department is now looking into it. Attorney General Chris Mays says her office will now launch its own investigation into the 2020 and 2022 elections. Mays says her probe will focus on multiple fake elector schemes, including one by the Arizona Republican Party involving former party chair Kelly Ward and state senators Jake Hoffman and Anthony Kern. The investigation will also look into threats against election officials and workers. Former Yavapai recorder Leslie Hoffman, a Republican, resigned last year after being the target of threats.
I hope that the general public, who isn't as astute and in the middle of all this like you and I are, I hope that they realize that these threats were real and unnecessary, that nobody was crying wolf. These were serious threats.
Tracking your forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sullins. We've got some more clouds moving in overnight and throughout the day tomorrow, but our forecast does look to stay dry and temperatures are right near normal for this time of year. So we'll start things out in the 50s early tomorrow morning, hit the mid 70s in the afternoon hours across the state, more 70s down to our south into Casa Grande and Tucson too, and temperatures in the 40s and 50s up north. Now winds are going to pick up a little bit, breezy conditions across northern Arizona and along the rim tomorrow. Winds at 10 to 25 miles per hour, peak wind gusts close to 30, and those winds will lighten up tomorrow evening. As we take a look at the next 7 days here in the valley, it is a steady climb throughout the rest of this week. In fact, we could see our first 80s of the year by Friday, and we'll stay in the 80s over the weekend as well. Breezes pick up Saturday, and we may see a few spotty showers, mainly north of I-40 on Saturday, but our valley forecast again looks dry.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, head to abc15.com or download the free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC 15 News Update is sponsored by Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.